Story number 1. I needed extra cash, so I decided to sell my old camera gear on Craigslist. A buyer named Alex responded, offering a generous amount for the equipment. We agreed to meet in a quiet alley behind a deserted warehouse. Ignoring the nagging feeling in my gut, I headed to the meetup, anticipating a quick and easy transaction. As I arrived, the alley felt like a forgotten realm. Graffiti-covered walls loomed over me, and a flickering streetlight cast eerie shadows. Alex stood in the shadows, obscured by a hooded jacket, making it impossible to see their face. A chill ran down my spine, but I brushed it off, attributing it to the gloomy atmosphere. We exchanged pleasantries, and I handed over the camera gear. Alex inspected it meticulously, their movements rigid. Something about their demeanor felt off, but I attributed it to cautiousness. As we finalized the deal, Alex's expression shifted from stoic to sinister. Before I could react, they lunged at me with unexpected ferocity. A glint of a knife reflected in the dim light. Panic set in as I realized the Craigslist transaction had taken a dark turn. Instinctively, I dodged the blade, narrowly escaping a potentially fatal strike. Adrenaline surged through my veins as I sprinted through the alley, the sound of footsteps echoing behind me. My breaths came in ragged gasps as I navigated the labyrinthine streets, desperate to evade the mysterious assailant. Fear fueled my every step, pushing me to the edge of exhaustion. It felt like a sinister game, the shadows conspiring against me as I raced to escape the clutches of a seemingly ordinary Craigslist deal turned deadly. In the maze of the city, I sought refuge in a crowded diner, blending into the bustling anonymity. Heart pounding, I scanned the faces, paranoia whispering that Alex might be among them. My trembling hands clutched the phone as I dialed the police, recounting the chilling encounter in hushed tones. Officers arrived promptly, their stern expressions mirroring the gravity of the situation. They assured me they would investigate, but the looming sense of danger lingered. I couldn't shake the feeling that the cryptic transaction had unleashed a malevolent force determined to silence me. Days turned into restless nights as I lived in constant fear, glancing over my shoulder at every shadow. The police investigation yielded no leads, and the anonymity of the Craigslist encounter became a haunting presence. I couldn't escape the gnawing dread that Alex might strike again, lurking in the periphery of my life. The once familiar surroundings became a labyrinth of paranoia. Every unfamiliar face triggered an adrenaline-fueled response, and the city I once called home transformed into a sinister landscape. Sleep became elusive, replaced by the haunting echoes of footsteps and the glint of a knife in the dimly lit alley. As weeks passed, my nerves frayed and my sanity teetered on the edge. I withdrew from friends and family, the weight of the undisclosed danger consuming me. The incident became a specter, haunting my every waking moment, a constant reminder of the vulnerability hidden within mundane transactions. In a desperate attempt to regain control, I turned to a private investigator. Together, we delved into the shadows of the Craigslist encounter, tracing digital breadcrumbs and unraveling the cryptic identity of Alex. The investigation led to dead ends, a frustrating loop of false leads and obscured trails. It seemed the assailant was adept at hiding in plain sight. As the search intensified, I received an anonymous message, a cryptic warning that delving deeper would have dire consequences. Paralyzed by fear, I hesitated, torn between uncovering the truth and succumbing to the ominous threats. The line between safety and peril blurred, and the relentless pursuit of answers pushed me deeper into the abyss of uncertainty. In a final act of defiance, I confronted the shadows, determined to unmask the face behind the Craigslist nightmare. The investigation led to a dilapidated warehouse, reminiscent of the alley where the ominous transaction took place. The air was thick with tension as I cautiously stepped inside, guided by a lingering instinct to confront the lurking danger. In the heart of the warehouse, I found a makeshift lair, a chilling tableau of photographs, news clippings, and a meticulous timeline of my life. The revelation hit me like a sledgehammer. The assailant had been watching, waiting, orchestrating a macabre symphony of surveillance. The cryptic transaction wasn't just about money. It was a prelude to a twisted obsession. As the pieces fell into place, I uncovered the identity of Alex. A face I never expected, someone close, someone I had unwittingly invited into the intimate details of my life. The betrayal cut deep, the realization that the Craigslist encounter was a carefully calculated scheme, a vendetta concealed beneath the guise of a simple transaction. Story number 2. I stumbled upon a curious Craigslist ad late one night, a vintage doll claiming to be a cherished family heirloom. The pictures showcased a delicate face with faded blue eyes, and something about it tugged at my curiosity. Little did I know that this innocent purchase would unravel a haunting tale that transcended the ordinary. The transaction was arranged hastily, the seller eager to part ways with the doll. We met in a dimly lit parking lot, and the doll, nestled in a worn-out box, awaited its new home. The seller, a middle-aged woman with tired eyes, shared brief pleasantries and disappeared into the night. As I drove home, I felt a peculiar weight in the air, as if the doll carried with it a history yet to be unveiled. The doll found its place on a dusty shelf in my living room, its porcelain gaze fixed on the room's silent corners. At first, all seemed well, an antique addition to my humble abode. However, as the days turned into nights, an unsettling energy settled over the room, an unspoken presence that lingered in the shadows. Strange occurrences became routine. Objects shifted places when I wasn't looking, and soft footsteps echoed in the dead of night. My rational mind dismissed these oddities as mere coincidences, but the doll's gaze seemed to intensify, as if harboring a secret that it longed to share. Late one evening, as I sat alone in the quietude of my living room, I noticed the doll had moved. Its porcelain hands, once clasped demurely, now reached out, as if seeking connection. A shiver ran down my spine, but curiosity overpowered fear. I placed the doll back in its original position, dismissing the incident as a trick of tired eyes. The nights took a sinister turn. Whispers, soft and barely audible, emanated from the doll. At first, I attributed them to the creaks of an old house, but the hushed conversations grew clearer. Words woven in a language I couldn't comprehend, secrets whispered from the lips of an inanimate companion that defied the laws of nature. Days blurred into restless nights, and the doll's whispers became a haunting lullaby that echoed in the recesses of my mind. I found myself drawn to its presence, seeking solace in the enigmatic confessions that spilled from its porcelain lips. As I listened, I realized the doll held memories, fragments of a past etched in sorrow and longing. In the hushed confessions, I discovered the tale of a family torn by tragedy. The doll, once a cherished gift to a little girl, witnessed the unraveling of a once happy home. The whispers painted a vivid picture of loss, of tears soaked into its delicate fabric, and of the ache of abandonment that lingered in its silent gaze. Haunted by the doll's revelations, I delved into its history. I traced the origins back to a family estate, now long forgotten, and discovered that the seller's eagerness to part with the doll concealed a painful connection to its past. It seemed the doll carried with it the weight of a family's sorrow, a silent witness to the fractures that shattered their lives. The connection between the doll and me deepened, a symbiotic bond that defied reason. I found myself conversing with it, sharing fragments of my own life, as if seeking solace in the silent companionship it offered. Yet the doll's whispers grew more insistent, its porcelain eyes revealing an unsettling depth that transcended the realm of the living. One fateful night, as I slept in the quiet solitude of my home, I was roused by a soft melody, a haunting tune that seemed to drift from the doll. I followed the eerie notes, guided by an unseen force that compelled me to a hidden compartment within the doll's delicate frame. Inside, I discovered a collection of old photographs, faded with time, but bearing the weight of a poignant narrative. The images captured moments of joy, the laughter of children, and the warmth of a family now scattered by the relentless march of time. It became clear that the doll carried not only the memories of a broken family, but also the echoes of their laughter that once filled the halls of a forgotten home. As the night unfolded, the doll's whispers turned desperate, a plea for release from the shackles of a haunted existence. It seemed the doll yearned to reunite with the fragments of its past, to find closure in a story left unfinished. The spectral connection between us intensified, as if the ethereal threads that bound us sought a resolution that defied the boundaries of the living and the inert. Driven by an inexplicable force, I embarked on a journey to the family estate, guided by the memories etched in the doll's porcelain form. The dilapidated mansion stood as a solemn witness to the passage of time, its halls echoing with the distant laughter that lingered in the recesses of my mind. In the heart of the estate, I uncovered a forgotten room, untouched by the hands of time. Dust-covered furniture revealed a scene frozen in the grip of abandonment, and there, on a weathered shelf, stood a collection of dolls, companions to the haunted doll that had woven itself into the fabric of my life. As I arranged the dolls in a semblance of familial unity, a serene stillness settled over the room. The ghostly whispers that haunted my nights transformed into a harmonious melody, a bittersweet serenade that echoed through the abandoned halls. It seemed the dolls had found solace in each other's presence, their spectral reunion a cathartic release from the shackles of an unresolved past. Story number 3. It started with a simple search on Craigslist. I was looking for a vintage record player, a seemingly innocent quest that would morph into a nightmare of haunting proportions. The purchase brought not just the crackling tunes of yesteryear, but an unseen stalker who, like a ghost in the shadows, would relentlessly haunt my every step. The transaction went smoothly, a brief meeting in a quiet cafe with a seller named Mia. She handed me the vintage gem, and we exchanged polite smiles. Little did I know, that record player would serve as a conduit for a sinister presence to slither into my life. The first sign was subtle, a mysterious note tucked between the grooves of an old vinyl record. It simply read, "I'm watching." I dismissed it as a prank, the product of an overactive imagination. But as days turned into weeks, the messages escalated, becoming more intrusive, more personal. Late at night, as I spun vinyl tunes in the dim glow of my apartment, a whisper echoed through the room, chilling words that only I could hear. The stalker had transcended the written word, infiltrating the very air with their menacing presence. Sleep became a distant memory as the haunting whispers followed me into the realm of dreams, a realm now tainted by the unseen observer. I changed my routine, seeking refuge in anonymity, but the stalker was relentless. Mysterious gifts arrived at my doorstep, items that held significance only in the recesses of my memories. Each package was a disconcerting reminder that the line between my life and the unseen stalker's obsession had blurred into an unsettling dance of echoes. Days turned into a haunting symphony of paranoia, and my once cozy apartment transformed into a labyrinth of fear. I scrutinized every reflection, every shadow, seeking the elusive specter that lingered just beyond sight. The stalker reveled in the psychological warfare, turning my own home into a battleground of nerves. One evening, a cryptic message materialized on my bathroom mirror, written in fog, invisible until the room steamed with the heat of a shower. It read, "I see you, even when you cannot see yourself." The unnerving realization struck. The stalker had invaded the very sanctity of my personal space, violating the boundaries between safety and invasion. Seeking refuge, I moved to a new apartment, hoping the change would sever the unseen connection. Yet the haunting continued. The stalker's presence lingered like a ghostly imprint, defying the physical distance. I became a prisoner of my own fear, a pawn in a twisted game orchestrated by an adversary hidden in the shadows. As the messages grew more explicit, I considered reaching out to the authorities, but the fear of escalation held me back. Instead, I sought solace in the anonymity of crowded spaces. Yet, even among the bustling city streets, the stalker's presence loomed, their unseen eyes watching, dissecting my every move. The climax of the torment unfolded in a series of disturbing photographs, images of me, captured without consent, in moments of vulnerability, at the grocery store, in the park, even within the supposed safety of my own home. The violation cut deep, a stark reminder that the unseen stalker had transcended the digital realm, leaving behind tangible evidence of their intrusion. Desperation led me to explore the depths of the online world, trying to unmask the faceless tormentor. In the dark corners of forums and hidden chat rooms, I sought answers, a means to break free from the relentless grip of the stalker. Yet, the pursuit only fueled the unseen adversary's sadistic glee, as messages grew more taunting, more unhinged. One day, a mysterious package arrived, containing a recording of my own voice, intimate conversations, private musings, snippets of life captured without my knowledge. The violation of my privacy reached a horrifying crescendo, and the stalker's malevolent presence reverberated through the haunting playback. In a desperate bid to reclaim control, I confronted the unseen stalker through a Craigslist post, a plea for mercy, an appeal to end the torment. The response came swiftly, a cryptic message that echoed with twisted satisfaction. The stalker reveled in the psychological wounds they had inflicted, the power they wielded from the shadows.